Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KeyPatcher.com out here for another gear review, and today we're talking flashlights. This little guy right here, which is the Stiletto Pro by SureFire. In the past, I've actually reviewed the Stiletto by SureFire, this one being the Pro, essentially a upgraded model. So big kind of key takeaway differences between the Stiletto and the Stiletto Pro is one, material and output. So the regular Stiletto, polymer body. This one, pretty much whole thing is aircraft grade aluminum, and then output. So the regular Stiletto putting out 500 peak lumens, whereas this one is putting out 1,000 peak lumens. The Pro has a lot of the same features that I actually really like from the original Stiletto, namely form factor and the way it actually functions. So with respect to form factor, nice and thin, easy to carry. Lengthwise, you're looking at about 4.5 inches, and this less than an inch. The bezel right here, widest part, I want to say is like 0.85 inches, something like that. This one, of course, being all aluminum, it's going to be a little heavier, weighs 4 ounces, but that's including the internal rechargeable lithium-ion battery. And then on the back side, we have this clip, melanite coated, and you can actually reverse it. Right here it's set up for bezel up carry, or put it back here for bezel down carry, depending on what you want to do. And then over on this side we have our USB charging. Peel that back, micro USB, and then right there is a little LED indicator when we turn this on. Basically gives us battery status, discharge status. Click it again, turns off, and then this button over here is actually used for programming, but to cycle through, you can press it. We have 25 lumens right there, and then if you wait a second, you press it again, it'll turn off. But if you want to actually cycle through, press it again, 300 lumens, press it again, 1,000 lumens, and then we can turn it back off. And then lastly, this button on the back, which regardless of what setting or if it's off, by way of example, you're running around at 25 lumens, you mash that button on the back and you get 1,000 lumens, and when you let go, it'll turn off. That feature I just mentioned, I really like, in that if you're doing something task related and you have 25 lumens and all of a sudden you need more, it's all there. Like, press the back and then as soon as you let go, it turns off, because that is going back to kind of the tactical defensive side. Like, hey, I was just looking for something, now I'm trying to figure out if that's a threat or not, and maybe if it is, it might be advantageous to get rid of that light, so I'm no longer a target indicator, or this is not a target indicator, and maybe move. So yeah, all the power, release, blackness, pretty handy. As far as kind of other kind of nice features is, depending on how you have this set up, again, I have it set up for bezel up carry, and with that you can put it onto the bill of a hat, and then when you turn it on, have a handy little hands-free headlamp basically. As far as kind of other notable stuff, I guess, with this, I believe it's IPX7 rating. What does that mean? I want to say like a meter deep in water for like 30 minutes or something like that. What does that really come out to? One, it doesn't matter if it's raining, and two, it'll probably last if it goes through your washing machine. Good deal. And lastly, the beam on here is their max vision beam. So think of it as much more of a flood without basically a big hot spot in the middle. So what does that look like? I'll show you right now, taking this and a couple other lights out to the range, and yeah, illuminating a target. Right here is 10 yards silhouette with my jacket with the SureFire Stiletto Pro, 1,000 lumens. And right here, 500 lumens, SureFire EDC. And SureFire X300 Ultra, 10 yards. And back to the Stiletto Pro. 10 yards, 1,000 lumens. Now back here at 25 silhouette with a multicam jacket on, 25 yards. Illuminated with the SureFire Stiletto Pro. And now, same silhouette, 25 yards with the SureFire EDC L1, 500 lumens. And again, same silhouette. This time the SureFire X300 Ultra. And back to the 1,000 lumens Stiletto Pro. Now back at 50 yards. Silhouette down there, multicam jacket on, illuminated with the 1,000 lumen Stiletto Pro. Same silhouette, 50 yards, illuminated with the SureFire EDC L1. And 50 yards, SureFire X300 Ultra. And back to the Stiletto Pro, 1,000 lumens, 50 yards. As far as beam pattern, throw, all that stuff, what are my thoughts? Honestly, I think it does a really good job. There's not a hot spot like those other lights. I don't mind it at all. It's much more of like a wide flood and it's really bright. So it gives you the opportunity to gather a lot of information when you turn this thing on full power. And yeah, like target ID out to like 50 yards. Do I need it to go further? Not for a pocket handheld light that I'm gonna use in conjunction with a pistol or something, because one, skill and ability, and two, liability, shooting effectively one-handed or maybe a little supported, two-handed with a pistol at night with a handheld light, like past 50 yards. Probably not gonna do it. So honestly, does everything I needed to do. With all that said, what has been my experience with the Stiletto Pro? Well, I've carried it for probably over a year, pretty much daily. And I'll carry it basically other strong side, bezel up, so I can just draw it out, turn it in my hand, mash it if I need to, or more often than not, task light, so I'll pull it out, just turn it on low setting, looking for something. And it's done a great job for me. Aside from just random everyday tasks, to include just throwing it on my hat because I'm trying to do something, or I should probably actually put a couple wraps of tape down there on the bottom, because more often than not, I don't have a hat on, so this thing winds up between my teeth on aluminum. No, probably be nicer on tape. But past just kind of like daily random experiences, I actually shot this at a pistol class, a low light pistol class with Steve Fisher, Sentinel Concepts. And yeah, pretty much I went to it like low light pistol. I'm like, okay, cool, like weapon mounted light. I think we shot like one string of fire with a weapon mounted light. Everything else was basically working largely 3 different techniques with a handheld light. And I ended up using this the entire time. Did an amazing job for me. said, have I had any issues with the Stiletto Pro? Actually, two kind of. One, there was some sort of issue with the switch where basically it would like turn itself on, would not want to turn itself off. Contacted SureFire. They're like, cool, here's RMA. Ended up shipping it back. They got me a brand new one quickly and haven't had any problems, issues since. I will say the other issue is it's not necessarily an issue with the light design, it's just something that can happen. What do I mean? Well, depending on what you have in your pockets, if you have a bunch of crap in your pockets, dynamic movement, kneeling, things like that, this can end up turning on in your pocket. And if it turns on, like somehow this gets pressed, kind of rare, but sometimes with a bunch of crap in your pockets moving around. If it gets pressed, turns on 25 lumens, not a big deal. There's definitely been times though, like usually kneeling down, shooting, somewhere in kind of a static position for a little while, pants are bunched up, crap in my pockets. This gets depressed down here, and you're like, why does it feel like my leg is on fire? It's because it's depressed and you got 1,000 lumens on it. And the top of this is basically an aluminum heatsink. I have had that happen. Again, not super common, but I have had it happen. Overall, I will say Stiletto Pro, probably my favorite everyday carry light. A couple different things. One, just form factor, really easy to carry. It's thin, it's nice. And then output wise, that 25 lumens, perfect for most tasks. Sometimes I'll bump it up to 300. Usually if I need more than 25, just go straight to 1,000. But plenty of light, usable light. That beam, it's nice and wide. You can pull in a lot of information with that. And then on top of all that, rechargeable. So if my boys need a flashlight, I can hand it to them. They can go do whatever. It's not like, no, I'm not going to give you this because I want to buy more CR123 batteries. No, just go recharge it. And burn time for the 1,000 lumens, I want to say about an hour straight. For the 25 lumens, I think around like 20 hours, something like that. But I mean, I basically use this all night shooting, and it still had juice at the end of the night. And then you just go and you charge it. So yeah, lots of usable light, and yeah, just really easy to carry. Overall, pretty solid. Price-wise, you're looking at, I want to say a little over 200 bucks. You can get them through Amazon, through SureFire store there, or if you want to go straight through SureFire, you're going to end up paying a little bit more. But yeah, get them on Amazon, a little over 200 bucks. Overall, I think a really solid light. But if you appreciate my content and want to support it, greatly appreciate it. Whether it's liking and sharing videos or supporting me directly through Patreon, all that stuff helps me go out and create more content for you. And if you have questions, happy to answer them over there. We have an active Discord, a lot of good people, a lot of good information. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.